What? Son got.
How am I looking? I'm having a good hair day. I just can't find that one hair. And I don't seem to be able to find a reason to care. Just saying. So there's been nothing much going on in the news, it seems like, the last couple days. Mark my words. Mark my words. Unfortunately, that usually means bad things are happening. I know that Mike Pompeo is now talking about how Syria used chemical weapons on its people in May, which has already been debunked before he even said that. It was already debunked months ago. So, once again, Magic Mike knows all. He knows exactly what to say to keep his lies consistent. Consistently lies every single time he opens his mouth. So if he says something, you know it's the opposite. I really haven't seen him say anything that wasn't a lie. I swear I haven't. Except maybe the word "the." Or something. I mean, when it comes to announcing important things that are going on in the world, consistently full of shit. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of dishonesty. So there's that. But also, of course, all the stuff with the Trump impeachment is what's got all the headlines, etc., which it's newsworthy, but is it more newsworthy than people starving to death in Yemen? You know, like, what, a child's dying every 6 minutes or something crazy like that, starving to death every 6 minutes. But it's funny how they'll find one person who died, like Khashoggi, back when he died, it was all about him. And kids are dying by the tens of thousands over there, and never talked about that. Never even brought up Yemen until the spotlight was on Saudi Arabia, and then people were like, yeah, but what about Yemen? It's like, oh yeah, we'll cover that. And they covered it like twice or something, when the UN estimates that 10 million people are going to starve to death by the end of the year. It's not looking like that's the case, but that's what the UN said is happening. If that's even 1% true, shouldn't there be a lot of press on it? Apparently not, because starvation is boring. Famine is boring. Sanctions starve people out and do slow death things. Those are boring. Kills more people than war does a lot of the time. But it's boring and doesn't go into the news. They don't get as much bad press. People feel better about it because they don't have to see bombs and limbs and ugliness. But it's uglier. And I'm anti-war, but, you know, I mean, fucking anti-sanction too. Diplomacy is good, but sanctions, we're using them as the catch-all for anything we don't like about somebody. We throw a sanction on them. That's supposed to be through the UN. The sanctions are supposed to be more regulated than just, I don't like you, I'm sanctioning you, which is kind of the way that the administration has been throwing it around, and I'm really not exaggerating there. But that was pretty unclimactic, but that's what I got for the moment. I often wonder how much it's really intentional when the media is silent about things going on elsewhere in the world and only cover, for example, now they're only covering impeachment stuff for 2 or 3 days. I haven't heard really much about the rest of the world. I mean, I've heard from South Front. I've heard, of course, that blaming Syria for chemical weapons attacks that were debunked months ago. That's very much out of the playbook to take the rest of Palestine from the Palestinians and try to go to war with Syria and Iran. Modi, who is the Prime Minister of Turkey, got up before the UN General Assembly a day or two ago, and I'm not sure who or what the thing was, but it seemed kind of uncharacteristic of him. He busted out a map of Palestine, or what's left of it, showing the different years where it was and where it is now, which it's a sprinkle of different territories now, where it used to be a good portion of the Israel area. They've been robbed blind of it. They have hardly any land left, and Israel leaders are planning to annex the entire West Bank and other parts of it. They're just trying to take over the whole territory, and they're almost there. It's just like people haven't been paying attention to it enough, so they've been slowly creeping on them, and now they're just going to go ahead and take the whole West Bank. That's their plan. And everybody's saying, well, not everybody, there's a handful of nations saying they have Palestine's back. But what does that mean? What does that mean? They're letting this happen. I know that they face quite a hurdle with the United States standing in the way, but they're not doing anything. So why do they say they have their back? Because they're not even talking about it. It's not even a subject that you hear about in the media, even alternative media. You don't hear about that they're just not doing anything. Iran says they have their back, and have suggested if things pop off and war happens, they'll wipe Israel clean off the map. With Israel's behavior, you almost can't blame them. You know, it's like they've been picking a fight with Iran forever, and Iran never did anything to them. You know, rumors are that they say, you know, death to Israel and death to the U.S. Well, it's said that that's the policies that they really have a problem with. And they should. And they should. Any logical person would. Anyway.